Saint Ignatius of Loyola, founder of the Jesuits and master of discernment, this reflection is prepared by Father Aube Francis, pastor at St. Jude Church, Grand Rapids, Michigan, USA, patron of retreats, soldiers, and spiritual directors. Saint Ignatius of Loyola was born as Inigo López de Loyola in 1491 in the Basque region of northern Spain into a noble family. As a young man, he dreamed of chivalry, fame, and courtly romance. He served as a soldier and lived a worldly life, pursuing honor and valor on the battlefield. In 1521, during the Battle of Pamplona, Ignatius was severely wounded when a cannonball shattered his leg. His long and painful recovery became the turning point in his life. While bedridden, he had no access to the romantic novels he preferred and instead read about the life of Christ and the saints. This inspired in him a deep interior conversion. He realized that true greatness lay not in worldly glory but in serving God. Determined to follow Christ, he gave up his former life. At the shrine of Our Lady of Montserrat, he laid down his sword and armor before the Blessed Virgin. He spent the next year in solitude and prayer in Manresa, where he underwent intense spiritual experiences and wrote the beginnings of what would later become the Spiritual Exercises. Accomplishments and works. 1. The Spiritual Exercises, Ignatius' most famous work, a manual for deepening one's relationship with God through meditation, discernment, and self-examination. It has become the foundation of Ignatian spirituality and is widely used in retreats and spiritual direction even today. 2. Founder of the Society of Jesus Jesuits in 1534, together with a group of companions including Saint Francis Xavier. Ignatius took vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience and offered themselves to the Pope for apostolic work. They were officially recognized by Pope Paul III in 1540. 3. Educational reformer. Under his leadership, the Jesuits established numerous schools, colleges, and universities. Education became a key apostolate of the Jesuits, promoting intellectual excellence integrated with faith and service. 4. Missionary work. Though Ignatius himself remained in Rome, he coordinated the missions of Jesuits all over the world. He emphasized adaptability, respect for cultures, and engaging the world through dialogue and learning. 5. Spiritual leadership. As the first superior general of the Society of Jesus, he guided the community with wisdom, promoting interior freedom, spiritual discernment, and total trust in God's providence. 5. Spiritual leadership. As the first superior general of the Society of Jesus, he guided the community with wisdom, promoting interior freedom, spiritual discernment, and total trust in God's providence. His death and canonization. Saint Ignatius of Loyola died on July 31, 1556, in Rome, worn out from a life of intense labor and spiritual leadership. He was beatified in 1609 by Pope Paul V and canonized on March 12, 1622 by Pope Gregory XV, along with his close companion Saint Francis Xavier and other notable saints like Teresa of Avila and Philip Neri. Legacy. Saint Ignatius left behind a spiritual movement that continues to shape the Church and the world. The Jesuits have become one of the largest religious orders in the Church, known for their intellectual rigor, missionary zeal, and commitment to justice and education. His principles of discernment, the daily examen, and finding God in all things are now central to Christian spirituality. Jesuit institutions today continue to influence society through education, scientific research, missionary outreach, and social advocacy. Lessons from his life. Conversion is a lifelong process. Even the most worldly soul can be transformed when open to God's grace. Discernment of spirits is essential to spiritual maturity and making good decisions in life. Service to the Church and the world through prayer and action reflects true discipleship. Meditation question: am I willing to let go of my personal ambitions and comforts, like Saint Ignatius, to seek and serve God's greater glory in my life?